12:30 in the afternoon, which was everything went to plan. Now, discussion time. I'm always told, and I was told only yesterday by Mrs. Mechanic, that my reactions and, well, yeah, the way that I react is often wrong. And I don't take into consideration other people's feelings. Sorry, I'm a bloke. So I need some guidance. Morning, Almarine Velocity. So we're going to pace this out until we get a few viewers on board. Morning, Roger, good to have you on board. I made it back. Nothing fell off the back of the truck, which was quite nice. Although I'm sure the rack got a little bit lower. But I think that was the more gear that was going on, squashing the old suspension down. She was pretty full, to be honest. I had to reconfigure in Wellington and put some more stuff on top of the tray with that big box. Oh, you never saw the big box, did you? But there was a big wooden stillage box on top of the tray top, full of stuff as well. So I had to pile more stuff on there. And it was only cardboard boxes, so I was hoping it wasn't going to rain. Fortunately, it didn't rain. Well, not much. We were all right. Now, let me get set up because I've been running around like an idiot this morning, and that's part of why I'm a bit grumpy. Not grumpy with you guys, obviously. As you know, most of you will know, Ben came down and used the workshop for 3.5, 4 days and in the end, he made a bull bar for his ute, and he made a grill piece to go over the rear window of the cab, so he wouldn't damage or break the glass. So he was pretty much in the workshop every day, fabricating, grinding, welding, cutting, whatever. And, well, how many have we got on board? 20, that'll do. 20 people should give us some advice. So obviously very happy for Ben to use the workshop. That's, one of the reasons why I did it, is I've always shared my workshop with Ben, and he's got his own little workshop now. And I remember when I was at school or at work at my dad's garage, using the workbenches there, or at Uncle Ted's, using his workbench to make something as a kid. I was always told, to keep the place tidy and to tidy up when you've finished. It's a sign of respect. And, well, I came into the workshop this morning, and in all honesty, I had a hunch. Ben's not the tidiest person, and I understand that. We're all a little bit different. And to be fair, I've got a lot better in the last few years about keeping tidy. I mean, sure, there's some random areas of the workshop, and there's benches that still need to be cleaned, but the main benches, I always give them a little sweep down, even during the day between jobs or even between stages. I'll just give it a quick sweep off, so I'm working in a nice, clean environment. And anyway, I came in, and I had noticed a picture that he sent me by Messenger of the workbench. He'd taken a picture of the workbench with some stuff on it, showing me what he'd made. And in the background were a couple of bikes. Now, one was Tool Girl Holly's Project DR200, and the other one was a little SR125 that belongs to Mrs. Mechanic. And behind them was the CB750K2 belonging to Alan. So he'd been grinding with bikes next to the bench. Now, one of them had fresh fuel in the fuel tank, which is not a good idea. So I had a suspicion that they'd be covered in grinding, grit and dust and whatever. But anyway, so I came in. Bench was absolutely covered in grinding stuff. There was just crap everywhere. The floor hasn't been swept. It still hasn't. I've not had time to do that yet. I can show you that in a minute. It was just basically, there was a pile of scrap steel on the bench. And he knows that I do a live stream on a Sunday morning. And he knows that I knew that I wouldn't be home till reasonably late Saturday. And I would have had no inclination whatsoever to go into the workshop on the Saturday after such a long drive. Actually, such a long day. So, yeah. How would you react? Let's bring it, rather than ramble on forever. The workshop was a pigsty. I can't find my blowdown gun. Ben, if you're watching, where's my blowdown gun? Yeah. How would you feel? And it has to be your son. If it's anybody else, you just give them what for, I'm sure. But one of your kids, and Ben's 26, I think. Ben's 26, and he used the workshop for 4 days. And I even bought him some gas for the MIG so he could do what he needs to do. And I came back and it was a shithole, to be honest. It could have been worse, don't get me wrong, it could have been worse, but it wasn't great. It wasn't even acceptable. And even the little Myford lathe that was on the bench, he didn't put a rag over it. It's now, the whole thing is covered in grinding dust. So that's going to, obviously it was going to get cleaned anyway, but that's not the point. You don't cover a lathe in grinding dust. You know, common sense. And maybe he might have been in a bit of a rush, but that's not an excuse, is it? Respect. It all comes down to respect. And if I was in his workshop, I would have done that. Right. So I'm also a bit cranky, so I've not had a cigarette yet. So I'm going to have a cigarette very shortly, whilst my pie cools down. I'm going to put my pie on top of the ashtray to act as a thermal insulator against the workbench and hopefully keep it a little bit warmer. Cunning. Right, so let's get back to some comments, because I think you've all got the idea that Andy's not over happy. And I used to go mental with the staff when they used to leave workshops in a tip before they went home, or when they went home. So going back to the problem is, you know, my reaction would be, write a little tow rag. You're not using the workshop for the next 6 months. That's it. End of. If you can't respect the environment, tough. But that would have a very negative effect, because it would cause ripples through the entire family, and I would get it in the neck many, many times. And it would also be a point of conversation for the next 12 months, probably. I think you get what I mean. And I don't want to do that. So how would you manage this? You know, Ben doesn't live on site anymore. He lives up in Auckland. I live down here. I only ever get to see him when he wants to come and use the workshop. And I like the little lad. He's a good, you know, we have good conversations, and he's a good kid. So I don't want to push him away like that. So, comments. Jim K, number one rule, if you want to borrow something again, always leave it in better than you used it. Actually, it does very much impress me when somebody gives me something back and it is cleaner or lubricated or whatever, better than it was when they borrowed it. Sometimes I feel quite bad, actually, but you know, embarrassed, I think is the word, but you know, it's good. Connor K, that's right, Jim K, exactly. Roger Heats, morning all. Good morning, Roger. Thank you again very much for your donations to the channel. They both made it back, AG100s by the way, they both made it back intact last night. It was a long trip they did, I must admit, a hell of a long trip. But, you know, they're not going to get done for some time. There's a stack of projects at the moment. Al Marine Velocity. Hey, Andy. Good morning, Al Marine Velocity. That is one of the best names on YouTube, I think. Killswitch BB. Hey, hiya, gang. Morning, Killswitch. Good to have you on board, sir. Richard Perry. Hi, Andy. GB. Good morning, Richard, from GB. England, the best place. Simon Roll, good morning. Good morning, Simon. A pleasure to have you on board. A privilege as well, actually, as always. Simon sent me a screenshot yesterday to say that something's in customs. I think it includes some beans, isn't that right, Simon? So maybe, with fingers crossed, they're going to let the English Heinz baked beans through customs. Al Marie Velocity, you do any TIG welding? Absolutely not. I want to learn. Ben bought a nice big TIG welder, single phase. Oh, pardon me. Single phase. He's sort of dabbled with it a little bit. He's done. He can sort of produce a weld from it. It's not the prettiest weld. Obviously, TIG welding takes a lot of skill and you know, time to get skilled. And it's just too expensive for him for the gas. So it was when he was doing it. He probably afford it now. Something which I want to get more into as I get a bit older, really. I just don't have everything I need to do. I can do with a MIG. I can even weld fuel tanks with a MIG. It sort of does the job. And so I don't need to have his MIG down here. I'd rather he had it up there. Sorry, his TIG up there, so that he has the ability to weld something if he needs to. And it's his, end of the day. Jim, I'm here sitting after getting my second. Really? Oh, are you right? You coronavirus shot 10 minutes ago. Well, Jim, hang in there. Stick with us. Stay focused. Don't go to sleep. Suma Madachi, good workshop. Well, thank you very much. We do okay. It's taken a lot of work to get to where we are now. Connor K, morning Andy and crew. Good morning, Connor. Again, a privilege to have you in the workshop today. Simon Roll, I'm a right fanny. Tools go back in the right place after every job. In all honesty, if we're ticking boxes here, everything was back where it belongs. I don't know what stuff he's been using. I did notice a broken screwdriver, but he has left that out, so I find it really easily. So that's all right. We all break screwdrivers. And it might have been one of his that he's left behind. I don't even, well, it might have been out of the snap-on toolbox and an old screwdriver. I don't know. But I can't find my blowdown gun. He'll have hung it up somewhere. And I needed it to blow all the crap off the bench. Well, actually, I swept it, but I had to blow off the 2 bikes that were covered in grinding dust, because I'll put them outside and it rains, then they'll get rust stains on the fuel tank, which is not good, over the whole bike, which is not good. So I had to blow those off this morning. But you're right, everything in its place. And that's one of the reasons why we've got so many drawers in this workshop now, so that everything can have a home. I am planning to do the toolbox tour today. I am. Not on the live stream, because there's just too much to do on a live stream. I want to document it properly and do a proper video, because people have been asking for so long for it. Oh my word, I've got a thing from YouTube saying, welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Learn more. All right, well, I think you just don't swear, isn't that the answer? And don't give away your address. Simon Roll. Yes, done that one. Mike Adams, howdy all. Good morning, Mike Adams. Welcome aboard. Almarine Velocity. Okay, I'd be pissed. But then again, I get them back down to clear it. It's like 250 kilometers each way. It's not going to happen. I wouldn't ask him to come back. It's just, it took me, what, I don't know, an extra 15 minutes to tidy up. It's not the end of the world. But what did annoy me is, I know on the Sunday afternoon, which was the last way, actually, he didn't leave till late Sunday night because he was waiting for some paint to dry. Because he was waiting for paint to dry, I think he would have had plenty of time to tidy up the workshop, because the things that he sprayed were outside. So he wouldn't have been creating dust. So, I don't know. Not really much of an excuse based on the information I've got to hand. But what would how would you manage this situation, being family and not wanting to rock the boat? Because I'm always told that I rock the boat. I get upset. And I think I'm right to get upset. It's my workshop. Simon Roll. I ban him from the workshop. Yeah, but then I won't get to see Ben again unless I see him in Auckland. If it was just a mate, then, yes, they'd get an earful for sure. Philip. Big up from Poland, Andy Mechanic and viewers. Thank you very much, Philip. Welcome aboard, sir. Good to have you in the workshop as well. Kill Switch BB. Ban him from the use of the workshop for a while. I know. That's the obvious thing to do, but the repercussions, both personally, I won't get to see Ben, and the pushback from the rest of the clan will be, you've been a bit harsh. Maybe you need to apologise. All that kind of stuff. Machine NZ. I know, I could just grow some balls, but I've been told I'm quite abrupt. Machine NZ. Good morning, Andy. I thought you were on the road for a couple of weeks. I was. I did, what was it? Was final reading on the speedo, odometer, was 3,640 kilometers, I think is what we covered in the end. And she was fully loaded to the gunnels, to be honest, on the last bit. I called into Wellington to pick up a couple of new monitors. I've bitten the bullet. I'm going to come to that shortly. It's all to do with this box here, and there's another box behind us there, and there's some more stuff coming. But yes, the YouTube channel has had a financial investment, a considerable one, as seems to be a regular occurrence, to be honest. But yes, I bit the bullet and paid for stuff to make my life a bit easier. Jay-Z Beers, good day, sir. Good day, Jay-Z Beers. Good Good name. Carlton Hardy. In fact, it's shouting, Carlton Hardy, because it's in capitals. Let it go. Life's too short. Yeah, I'm just having a rant. I think by the time the live stream is over, I'll have forgotten all about it. You're right, though. Life is way too short. It just flies by at the moment. Mike Adams. I came into my shop a few minutes ago, seen its 2 hours of order and a mess. Wanted to raise hell, but I'm the only one that works here. I can't leave the work unless it's really late at night and I'm knackered. Even then, I just have a quick sweep around. I just can't leave it a mess. I just can't do it. I can't sleep properly at night knowing that the workshop's a tip. V8 Bergner. Good morning from, oh my word, that looks Russian. Madaripi. I can't pronounce that. Good morning, V8 Bergner. Kill switch, lol. Lol at Mike. Ban yourself for the workshop for a week. Mike Adams, kill switch. I would do that, but nothing would get done. Hey, private conversation. Kill switch. Tough. You're a naughty, naughty boy. Right. Somebody's going to use that soundbite there, I tell you. Simon Roll. Started my second week off 2 days early. Oh, that's nice. Waiting on a Rona test back. Okay, Rona, yeah. Test back for the little one. She's right as rain now, dancing around, but without the all clear, we have to isolate. Yes, unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Suma Badachi. I'm a welder, but very local. I like your workshop. You have many tools. It's taken a lifetime to gather. Well, that's not a whole lifetime. Hopefully about half a lifetime to gather what I've got. Yeah, I'm getting there. I mean, you never have enough. There's always, and there's a lot more specialist tools out there now. But you do have to sort of justify what you buy because they're not cheap, are they? Especially in New Zealand, tools are really expensive over here, and can take. Often it's special order stuff. It takes ages to arrive. Subamachi, may I get your WhatsApp number? I don't have a WhatsApp number. I don't think. I don't use it. Jim Haynes, if there is time to clean. Hang on, if there is time to lean, there is time to clean. Right, yes, understood. I agree with that. Mike Adams, when I was a teen, my dad would keep his hand tools in a toolbox tray in the rusted out floorboard of his pickup that would fall out and fall through the rusted holes, then accuse me of losing his tools. Oh, that's harsh. That really is harsh. Sorry to hear that, Mike. Maybe he should have welded the floor pan up. V8 Bergner. Madeira is a Portuguese. Okay, Madeira. I couldn't read it as Madeira. Yes, Madeira is a Portuguese island. It just had some weird characters in it, almost like Russian characters. But anyway, that's good. So we've got 2 viewers from Portugal today. Excellent stuff. Could be a new developing area for the Andy Mechanic viewings. Simon, speaking of tools, have you used the brake piston slide hammer yet? Yes, I did. I did actually cover it in one of the live streams, I think. Maybe you were too inebriated with all your ciders to remember, or maybe you weren't watching, I don't know. But yes, or maybe I mentioned it in a video. I did mention it anyway. It is brilliant. Absolutely well worth the money and so much quicker than me fiddling around with the old bearing extractor tool, or even worse, using the hydraulic extractor that I made a long time ago with the RAV4 clutch master cylinder, I think it was. It does work. They all work really well, but yours is the most efficient, the one that you put forward. And that is my go-to tool. Knowing where it is at the moment is something completely different because Mrs. Mechanic's been labeling drawers. I've been moving stuff around between drawers. And this is 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And I have no idea. It's going to be in a drawer somewhere. And the toolbox tour is going to cover all the drawers. And I think there's about 130 of them now from memory. There's a lot of drawers in this workshop. But it's good because it keeps things clean when Ben's grinding or I'm grinding. I hate getting stuff off shelves that's just knee deep in grinding dust, and there is a lot of dust in it now. I've been doing a lot of fabricating again. So What did Andy buy? Well, for any of you that are computer sort of literate, like unlike me, that know a bit about, laptop performance and that kind of thing, I bought a new laptop because I had to make a decision. I got that refund from doing the website, which I was very, very grateful for, and that was money I'd already set aside for the YouTube stroke workshop channel thing, And the dilemma was, do I go ahead with the air conditioning, or do I upgrade my editing hardware, basically? And it all came to a head the other day. I got my Photoshop started playing up, and rightly so. It's a 90. I worked it out. It's Adobe Photoshop 6 from 1995-ish era. Bloody good bit of software, and it's done all the graphics and stuff for all the videos to date, even working on Windows 7, I think I have on my old PC. But recently it's been playing up and I can't find the installation disk to reinstall it. So I thought, hey, no worries, maybe it's time. So I went online, spoke to a guy there and said, look, I am actually upgrading, but I'm upgrading from a 1995 version. And after he'd finished laughing, we finally came to an arrangement where he'd offered me a discount on the new software. So I downloaded it, put it into my old laptop, and it worked brilliantly, no problems at all. Then I tried to install it into my PC, and it just went, this is not going to happen, Mr. Young. It's not going to work. Tried a few times, and it said basically your PC is just too old, or the Windows is too old, or whatever it is. It just didn't want to know. Didn't have enough specs. So then it got me thinking, what do I do next? Well, I'm going to have to replace the PC. It only cost me $300, and that was it was secondhand, and it was when I first started the channel, I bought it. And then I paid for some more RAM, and I put a solid state hard drive in it, which obviously I can take back out again. So yeah, it wasn't expensive, but so I thought, well, if I'm going to replace the PC, why don't I look at getting a laptop, and then I can do what I've wanted to do for a long time, which is to be able to edit when I'm on the road, not whilst I'm driving, obviously, but on an evening, rather than go to the pub and drink cider all night. I can stay back in the hotel and a couple of hours editing a video that I've shot at the weekend. Perfect. Better use of my time. So I can focus more on filming at home and then edit when I'm not at home. Brilliant. So I looked around and looked at a few different laptops, did a bit of searching on the old net, and I came to the conclusion that if I go for, because I have a work Microsoft Surface, which is what I use a lot every day, and it's brilliant, really, really good. Mrs. Mechanic also has one. Really, really good. She has a bit of a problem with her screen at the moment, and my first work laptop had a problem with its screen exactly the same as hers, so it must have been an issue. But I think I've had no problems with the new one. So I looked, first of all, looking at another Surface, because I can't use my work laptop for editing for obvious reasons, because it's a work laptop and I can't put software on there that I'm not allowed to put on there. So it came to about $6,000 if I went for the highest spec Surface that I could find. And it was listed as one that was powerful enough to do the editing. So I thought, I'm sort of doubling up here, and I don't particularly like the keyboard, and I have no need for it to be a tablet. Well, Microsoft also make basically a similar thing, but a laptop as opposed to a, whatever you want to call it, where you can remove the keyboard, a proper laptop. So I priced that up and was a little bit, I didn't go for the terabyte hard drive. I went for the 512 gigabyte hard drive instead, which is fine if I just use it for editing. And it came out about 3,600. I thought, it's still a lot of money. But the advantage of sticking with that brand is the docking station would work with my work laptop and the new one, my own personal laptop, the new one. So it means that when I'm working from home, I can now dock my Surface and have a couple of big screens rather than working off a little tiny screen that I've been doing for years. And then when I want to edit at home, again, I can dock the new laptop and use the big screens. Plus, also, Mrs. Mechanic can plug hers in and use the big screens when I'm away. It's brilliant. It's versatile. It maximizes the usage. Very, very happy. So I ordered the laptop and ordered the docking station. Sorry, this is almost like a computer channel, isn't it? But it's a mechanic talking about computers, and I have no idea, really. So I ordered those. The laptop and the docking station arrived, hopefully, in that box, which we'll have a look at in a minute. And when I was in Wellington, well, before I got to Wellington, so I think it was in Nelson, I was emailing PB Tech in Wellington. Really, really helpful guy, a chap called Nick, who's the manager at PB Tech in Wellington. Unbelievably helpful. He went through all the different options. We sort of ummed and ahed and bounced around a few different ideas. And he said, look, for the price and for what you want to use it for, you know, because you can spend thousands of dollars on each monitor. I mean, why? I don't edit 4K. I don't need a really super duper, you know, fully functional, ultra graphic-y resolutions kind of stuff monitor. So these were about 600 each. He must have given me a bit of discount because the whole lot came to 1,200 bucks. And that was 2 monitors and a couple of leads that are going to get sent down and a stand. So he did me a discount. Cheers, Nick. Really appreciate it. So we'll have a look at one of the monitors in a minute. Obviously, at the moment, I can't connect the monitors to the laptop because the leads haven't turned up. They're coming down from Auckland. But in a nutshell, my efficiency, because there's been a bit of a lack of videos recently, and that's, we all know why. I've been away a lot. I need to get back into the swing of things, and this setup should work. The only downside, or the only change that I've got to make once I've got it set up, is I need to just use one hard drive each year for the rushes, for the work in progress kind of editing file that's created when you're editing, and of course for the final video. So I'm just going to do that. I have one hard drive, portable hard drive that I can take with me for all the editing, because you know the files are pretty big, and then have a desktop hard drive which will be the backup, which I can back up every week from the portable one or whatever. It'll work. So there you go. That's the plan. Comments. Mike Adams, I'm multitasking whilst listening. Good job. And breathing at the same time. So that's 3 things you're doing, Mike. Don't forget the breathing bit as well. I'm building a potato and onion box. Never made one of those. Staining and painting parts of wood shelf. I'm repurposing and working on restoring a small metal toolbox. Nice. There's always a good feeling about bringing things back to life, isn't it? Mike Adams, bouncing between the 3 while paints and glues, etc. dry on each. Very efficient. I like that. David Walker, just love the way you have your shop set up, and the new labels should really help you with the Tool Girls. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the reasons for doing it. And the fact is, everything's fluid at the moment. I was trying to get like for like in one drawer, because it was just basically I would get a new tool and look for a space in a drawer. I know, terrible. And then trying to find it, you end up opening a lot of the drawers. So yes, should be a lot better. And of course, Holly will be able to, you know, I can direct her to a particular drawer and she'll know exactly where she's going, which would be great. V8 Bergner, I need your advice. My DRZ 400 is burning oil. Oh dear. But I don't know if it's piston rings or valve seals. I've done a compression test and come out perfect compression. Can I assume it's valve seals? Go for a ride. All right, go for a ride. Go down a long hill with the throttle off, so you're on overrun. When you get to the bottom, crank open the throttle and look behind. Obviously, make sure there's nothing in front of you that you're going to hit. You know, disclaimer. But look behind. If all of a sudden there's a huge plume of smoke behind you, then it's going to be valve seals. Simon Roll, V8 Bergner, to my first thought, valve stem seals, reading that. Yes, I would agree. If it's intake valve stem seals, the oil's going through your combustion chamber and it's going to oil up the plug. If it's exhaust valve stem oil seals, then remember the oil is not entering the combustion chamber. It's just getting blown down the exhaust. If you take the exhaust off, it'll be wet with oil, absolutely wet, but your plug will be normal and not all oiled up. Another sort of telltale. I've had a lot to do with valve stem oil seals and burning oil recently. Anyway, the last 3 years, in all honesty. Cool. Okay, we've sort of got to a point now where we can go and open the parcel. Oh, that's sort of tepid. Right, turning you around. 3, 2, 1. Oh, we're on the move. Right, I'm going to set you up because I can't. There we are, that's perfect. Ooh, I don't want to drop it on the floor. That would be bad, wouldn't it? And it doesn't look like it's had too hard a life getting here either. It's not all beaten up like some of the parcels. Maybe it was the fragile tape that did the trick. Now remember, in here should be a laptop and a docking station. Ooh, we might be in luck. Okay, we have, oh that's heavy. I'll leave it right here. We have a Microsoft, we'll have a look at that a bit closer, docking station. Jeez, it doesn't look very big for all that money. Laptop. Okay. I'm going to have a nightmare setting this thing up, I know I am. Ooh, look at that. Right. Microsoft Surface Book 3. Oh, you can unpick the keyboard. Look at that. You see, Andy doesn't know everything. Right, let's go and have a park ourselves back down again, and we'll have a look at those. Ooh, nice. So, anybody else got any experience with these tools? Because that's basically what it is. It's a tool, isn't it? You know, but it turns into a tablet as well. I didn't realise that. But it looks very, very cool. Dare I take it out of the box in the workshop? I don't know. What's it say on the back? Microsoft Surface Book 3, 13.5 inches. Cool. Includes Surface Book 3 Windows 10 Home, a power supply, support for Wi-Fi, whatever that is, and Bluetooth version 5. Oh, I've got to accept licenses, look. That's fair enough. They always ask for everything in your entire life for that kind of stuff. Okay, so we've got that. Comes in a very expensive box. And this is the docking station. This supports 2 screens, which I think is those 2 connectors. I think. But I don't know. I'm just, oh yeah, it says it on the back. Right, hang on, am I right? Yes, USB-C display enabled. And they're the cables that we're waiting for. And it's got USBs. And the screens have got USB outlets. So let's go and do a screen. I'll set you back up on there, look. Is that going to work? Are we lined up? We are. Look at that. How do you get into this? Now look, hang on, bear with me. Ooh, oh my word. This looks rather posh. Paperwork. Stand, not the stand. I've got a proper like dual mount thing coming, so I won't be using those. It comes with cables that are the wrong ones. The guy warned me about that. It comes with a base that we won't be using. I'm running out of room now. Oh, what's in here? Power lead, that's good. I think that's everything out there. Holy moly. Look at that. Right, hang on. I just daren't drop it on the floor, so forgive me if you can't see what's going on. And he drops new monitor on floor on live stream. I can see it happening. Right, hang on then. Okay. Obviously it won't turn on. Oh yes, I like that. So that's a 2560 by 1440 or 1440, they call it in the trade. That's what Nicholas kept referring back to. Wow. Look. Blackness. Just a black big screen made by Dell. And I do like Dell. I used to have in fact, I think my other monitor's a Dell one from England. And it's still going, and it's like 15 years old. So we'll just stick that back on there. And we'll stick that back on there. We'll put him down on there very carefully, and we'll have a little look. What have we got down here, look? Yes, that's right. It's got two USB ones on the back, and one of them's powered, which is that one, so you can charge things up with it, and that's a normal USB. Honestly, why would I be talking about this? It's got HDMI. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, HDMI's on there. And then I think, oh yes, it's got some more USBs on the side. And again, one of those is powered, which is that one, and one of them's normal. I do like lots of USBs because I have so many hard drives. And of course, that's your power supply. Pretty cool. I like that. All right, we'll leave him on the table. I'll try not to knock the table over. Back to the bench. Have we still got any viewers? 33. I should talk more about monitors again, shouldn't I, really? Right, let me get rid of all this stuff so I can sit down. Now, I'm not sure. There's a box here. No, it's actually because I'm going to have to repack that for storage purposes until the leads turn up, which hopefully will be middle of next week. But I'm up in Kaitaia next week, so it's the way it is. So yes, very, very happy with that indeed. 13.5. I wonder what size screen this one is. Hang on a second. Let's get a ruler. Hang on. Oh, look. 10 tools tape measure. Can't go wrong. So, 13.5. Is it the same size as this? 13. No, this is smaller. This isn't in inches though. 13. 12. It is. It's exactly the same size screen as my work laptop, which is fine. I can cope with that while I'm on the road at least. And actually, a lot of the hotels that I stay in, you have the ability of connecting your laptop to the TV in the room. I say a lot, most of the Auckland ones, so when I'm staying in Auckland I can do that, and some of the posh hotels, you can actually, if you've got like a business type room, you can connect your laptop to the TV, so I could actually use the TV to edit, which would be brilliant. That'd be very cool. Now, hang on. Right, bear with me. There we are, look, so I think, yes, Simon Roll, get Ben to set it up, make up for the mess. Yeah, he is the computer guy, he's the computer guru in the family, that's for sure. But I reckon I can work it out. Things I think these days are a little bit easier to set up than they used to be. And I have the same dock at work, a similar dock. I don't think it's exactly the same. Probably the older version. I have the same dock at work, so if I really struggle, I'll just copy how that's wired up. Mike Adams, I'm not very computer savvy, hence why I don't usually work on any vehicles near the 1983. Any vehicles near the 1983 unless it's my own 1999 Dodge truck. So I think you mean anything after 1983, unless it's my own 1999 Dodge truck. When it comes to the computer in it, I go to somebody else. And yeah, vehicles are quite complicated these days. But the computer can be, it's sort of a double-edged sword, you know. Having fuel injection and electronic ignition and a computer that's constantly monitoring what's going on, and if something glitches, it'll flag a fault code usually. You can ask the computer and you can get some information. So it can actually help with diagnostics. But on the other hand, the vehicle itself is far more complicated with far more wires on it than vehicles used to have. And because of that, they fail more often. More components, you know. The old NASA thing, isn't it? More components, more chance of failure. It's very simple. Still warm. Mike Adams, what I'm doing here is about the extent of my computer skills. V8 Bergner, its valve stem seals then. After descending a mountain road, when I open the throttle, it makes a smoke screen. It's an excellent anti-tailgater device. I like that. Good idea. No problem. Don't just replace the valve stem oil seals, though. You will need to check and measure the valve stems and the guides internally as well, and see if the clearance between the two is within spec, because it might be that the valve's moving around in that linear bearing, which is the guide, and that's going to overstress the seals and potentially cause leakage or premature failure. Also, if the machine's got really hot at some point, the seals can go hard, and again that can cause them to leak, or they could just perish and get a crack in them. Right. Simon, 33, hit the like. Oh, we've only got 26 likes. I'm not doing very well today. Roger Heaps. I had one of the first versions of those laptops, so tablets, and only assume they have improved greatly. Love the idea, but like many things, first versions can be a little clunky. Yeah, I have no intention of removing the keyboard from the screen. I didn't even know you could do that on that. I didn't read that bit. It's not a feature that I need to do. All I needed was the processing power and the storage. That was, it's a solid state drive, so it's fast to bring back what I need, to retrieve the files, which is what editing software needs. Otherwise, it takes ages, especially on the rendering. Killswitch BB. I don't say much on here. Doesn't matter, Killswitch. It's all right, because I still use I still use a clay tablet, which takes time, and then I translate it to PC talkie law. That's funny. David Walker. Oh man, now I'm hungry. Sorry, David. I've gone for the yes, I was in Taupo on the way home yesterday, and I thought I've got to get a pie for tomorrow. So I popped over to the BP. Not a sponsor, by the way. I just like their pies. Went to their Wild Bean Cafe, and I almost picked up one of the, my go-to pie, the steak and cheese. I thought, you know what? I need to mix this up a bit. So I went for the pepper steak pie. It's got 2 bits of pepper on top. It's nice. They are really nice, actually. And no cheese, which is a good thing. Wife. Jim K, what a week it's been. Every week is different, Jim. Are we referring to my week or your week? Because you need to elaborate if it's your week. My last 2 weeks have been pretty full on, to be honest. Although I must admit, on not the Friday just gone, so not yesterday, but the previous Friday, I left Oamaru, which is about, I don't know, an hour and a quarter north of Dunedin, although it depends how fast you drive. And I decided to go the long way to, so I was going directly to Queenstown from there. I was supposed to go to Cromwell for a visit, but the training that I was doing in Oamaru I had to do a bit more stuff. I had to, do some more installs on the computer and things. So I've been the Cromwell visit. So I decided when I got finished, which was mid-afternoon, I went and did Danzy's Pass again. I did. I got a new personal best. Very happy with that. And I also stopped in at Danzy's pub, and I had a cider, and I had some bits of chicken, and I think a little bit of garlic pizza bread stuff, which was nice. It just kept me going till I got to Queenstown about, how did I get there? 6:30, 7? I think it was. Maybe 6:30. And didn't go out. I didn't even go out that night. I just did admin work all night, and I got to sleep about 10:30. I think it was. I gave up. Kill switch. Spent the afternoon doing double bearings on mini hubs that are on my bike trailer. After a hell of a job finding decent aftermarket replacements, only to forget to buy new seals. You donkey. You need new seals. I've done mini hubs. I think I used mini hubs on my first trailer I built as well, actually. I remember going to the scrapyard to get them and take them off a mini. They would have been rear hubs. Mike Adams, I just had a fried cherry pie. What the hell? That sounds dangerous. So, I don't think it says the specs on there, does it? Oh, maybe not. It does. So the laptop is a 10th generation Intel Core i7 processor. It's got a 512 gigabyte solid state drive and a 32 gigs of RAM, which is twice as much as my PC. That's only got 16. So it should be super good. It's got a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650 4 gigabyte GPU, which I think is the graphics card, isn't it? And then it's got the word platinum, whichever, I thought that must be the color. So it's a platinum color. So there you go. I reckon it's going to do the trick. And it's, you know, it's not over bulky to carry around, because sometimes I'm on the plane, and obviously now I've got two laptops to take them. Although hopefully again I should be able to use the same charger for both, because the charging plug is the same as the docking plug. So it should, I know the dock fits both, so it should, the charging should work with that one. That'll be cool. Then you have to carry one charger around. Excellent. Rodley Long Jr. Hi, Andy. From the other side of the pond. St. Clair, Missouri. Well, Rodney, welcome aboard. Welcome into my workshop for the morning. We've got 31 viewers and 27 likes. I think we're doing okay, actually. I never really worry about the number of viewers that are on these live streams. It's really just a way of me winding down and having a chat with you guys. Those that want to be here will be here. Those that don't won't. It's quite simple. But I will be doing some more videos shortly. I just need to get that new PC, new laptop set up, which is probably this afternoon's job. I'll make a video this morning and I'll go and do that. V8 Bergner, the DRZ was my first bike. It's a 2001 model. It's doing well, and with 97,000 kilometers, it's probably time for an overhaul. Definitely time for an overhaul. Need lots of oil changes, and when you're on the road, don't hold them at full throttle all the time. Had quite a few blow the big ends on them, so lots of regular oil changes. Simon, mini hubs were used on most trailers in the UK. Even the in-suspension units use the same type of mini hub. Well, there you go. That's probably why I used it. Mike Adams, look up servers fried pies. What the hell? Servers fried pies. Okay, I'll do an images. Pies. Servers fried pie. Deep fried pecan pie. Oh, let's just go to there. It might be a website for it. Servers. Best pie servers. No. 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 It's not there. It's not bringing it up. It's not bringing it up. It's just sort of showing me pies being served as opposed to servers pies. Maybe I spelt it wrong. Hang on. Have a look. S-E-R-V-E-R. Yeah, I've done that one. S-E-R. So, yeah, I've spelt it right. I have. You can tell I'm a bit slow this morning. Send me a link. Send it on an email. Oh man, I'm hungry now. Pie. I've got a pie, but dessert pies. Brendan Lee Grant Mills. Hi Andy, how are you today? I'm all right. I think I'm in sort of recovery mode at the moment. I had a long haul back up from Wellington yesterday, and to be honest, it was exactly 400 kilometers actually home, and about 150 k's in, I really was starting to flag a little bit. I stopped to pick up Marmite, a toy. That sort of broke things up a little bit. I spotted a pet shop. And then I stopped about 200 k's in and got a coffee. And then after that was fine. And I even decided to go through to Taupo, which is an extra 15 kilometers round trip, or to include in the trip, only to find that the Ironman competition was on and nearly all the roads in Taupo were closed, which made it an absolute mission to get to the particular place that I get tea from, which is where did I go last night? The noodly place it was. Noodle Canteen it's called. Very nice, actually. Had that for tea last night. Very, very good. And then got home, and I wasn't too bad when I got home, in all honesty. Watched a movie and then went to bed. I had an early night. Knowing that I had to get up this morning, pretty early to try and potentially tidy up the workshop, which is I'm very pleased that I did get in a bit earlier. Simon, Mike Adams, all I get is McD's pies. Oh dear. Mike Adams, service fried pies, spell check got me on the last post. Oh, set me up to fail there. All right, so it's spelled S-E-A. Right, hang on then. Hang on. S-E-A. Fried pies. There we go. Ooh, look at that. Nice. Look at this. I'm going to show you the picture. Do all the work for you. Turning around. 3, 2, 1. Look at that. Very nice. Chocolate. It's got chocolate in there as well. What the hell? Looks good though. Looks really good. Isn't it amazing what we get to talk about? We've talked about, okay, we've covered valve stem oil seals today. We've talked about laptops and we've talked about pies. Honestly, it's not really much of an automotive channel anymore at the moment, is it? Jim Haynes, a fried apple pie is the deal sprinkled with cinnamon and sugar. That sounds really nice. I would probably add a bit of whipped cream to it as well, be me, or maybe some vanilla ice cream. That would just finish it for me. Kill Switch BB. Big thumbs up, Jim Haynes. Oh my word. Ilan Arviv. Hi, how many years are you a mechanic? Well, I could say too many. That was my initial answer. I've always worked the tools. I've always taken things apart and put them back together. Had my first go-kart with a Honda C50 engine in when I think I was 12. Pretty sure I was 12 when I got that. So a long time. Always been interested in engines. Where did you learn this? I learned it through life, just necessity. I did go to college as well. I did 2 years down in Loughborough. But all the rest of it is sort of self-taught. Although saying that, when I went to go and teach at Unitec for 5 years, I definitely improved my skill set there as well. Certainly more on the theory side, more in-depth theory of certain systems, alternators, starter motors, how they really work, which certainly helps with diagnostics as well. Especially alternators. They were a bit of a mystery to me on the internals up until we were working at Unitec, I must admit. We didn't really cover them that much. I think in England at the time it was really either you sent it away and got it reconditioned, or you fitted a new one if there's no output. We didn't get involved with what was inside the alternator so much. Kyle Oak. Hey Kyle. Solid Diagnostics. Hello, Andy. Good morning, Solid Diagnostics. It's a good strong name, is it? Solid Diagnostics. Killswitch BB. Pies seem to be the running theme more than mechanics, lol. Yes, I think we all seem to like pies a lot, don't we? Can't think why. Kyle Oak, I've got a question about my bike. Wondering if you can help. I will try. CBR 500. Left in the garbage. Left it in the garbage. Hang on, no. Left it in the garage with a cover. How can I check if the battery needs a charge? Well, if it's been stood for a while, the battery's going to need a charge regardless. Definitely. So what are the symptoms? Have you turned the ignition on and there's no lights? You know, I mean, I need to know a bit more. But if it's been stood for a while, you should charge the battery anyway, because it will definitely have, you know, discharged over that time. Brendan Lee Grant Mills. It's not an Andy Mechanic live without talking about pie. It does seem that way. We're getting a bit of a reputation, aren't we, about covering pies. Kyle Oak. If I can turn the engine over, should I take it to a mechanic? Well, there's a lot more to it than just a battery. If the bike's been stood for a while, CBR 500, what year is that? I don't even know if they're carburetted or fuel injected. Let's have a look. I don't know what year it is. Is it a recent thing? I've never worked on one. Okay, 2013 onwards, it says here. Probably fuel injected, which means you don't have carbs to clean out, which would be nice. But there is a chance that the fuel will have gone stale, again, depending on how long it's been parked for, and the battery being flat. So just charge the battery up, and maybe, you know, if you can, drain out what's in the tank, put some fresh fuel in, let the fuel pump prime up, and just give it a few short cranks, and maybe, just maybe, it's going to fire up for you. Don't sit there on the starter for minute after minute after minute with it cranking, because you'll burn the starter out. Just give it a try, then leave it for a bit, go back, try it again, leave it a bit. If you're real keen, you could always, if you can get in there, you could take the fuel line off the fuel rail where it comes out of the pump onto the fuel rail. If you're careful, you can remove that line and put it into a container or something, and then turn the ignition on it, and it'll flush the old fuel out of the pump at least. But beware, you're dealing with petrol, and if there's any sparks around, it might catch fire, which is, in most cases, is very bad. If you're trying to start a barbecue, it's usually a good idea, but anything other than that, usually quite bad. So be careful. Oh, 2009, well, Google lied to me, so it's not an R. Hang on then, it's not an R. I put R in there. 2009. Oh yes, look at that. Okay, so you need to tell me, because I can't see from here, does it have carburetors or is it fuel injected? It's probably still fuel injected, to be fair, at that age. 6 months is too long. Definitely needs a battery charging up. Definitely needs new fuel in the tank. Yeah, didn't oil change and left with fuel before storage. Well, leaving fuel in the tank's a good thing because it stops the fuel tank from rusting, but the fuel still does go off. Mike Adams, hey mechanics, have to eat too, you know. And we do. We tend to eat things that are quick and easy to eat, and stuff that you can put on your workbench that's got a, you know, a little packet to keep all the grease and the oil off. Well, or at least some of it. My Uncle Ted used to say that the grease and the oil gave it extra flavour, so I never used to bother. It just, if you got, you know, oily fingerprints on your sandwich, you just still ate the sandwich. So you share ideas for the lunch boxes as well as toolboxes. Very good. V8 Bergner, you guys want to have a laugh? I bought a cheap oscilloscope, a DSO. Oscilloscope. Oh God, I've got to spell oscilloscope now. No, it did bring it up. Oh, yes, it did. Amazon. Amazon. Sorry, this is boring for you guys, isn't it? Well, any oscilloscope can be a good oscilloscope if it gives you, oh, there we are, look. DSO shell, fully assembled. Yeah, interesting stuff. Not got one of those. Very happy with my Pico, to be honest. Kill switch BB, oil will need to be changed even though not used. It might have moisture in it. It might. You could be right. I'd be tempted to fire it up with the original oil in, let it run a little bit, and then just check for any kind of emulsion on the, you know, the breathers or on the dipstick and stuff, just to see if it has. It really depends on the environment, doesn't it? If it's a really sort of moist environment, then there's a much higher chance. But you're quite right, kill switch. Kyle Oak, yeah, fuel, definitely. Mike Adams, kill switch. When COVID is over, the way shipping is at the moment, the pies would probably be rotten by the time they got to him, lol. Yeah, don't send me any pies. They won't be edible when they get here. Kyle Oak, thank you guys. That's all right. Kill switch BB, lol. True, Mike. Connie K. Pies are self-contained workbench food designed for the guy in the shop. Well, they work very, very well, must admit. I agree, Connor. Nut Barsden. Sorry, Barsden. Hi, Andy. Gave up on Amazon. Shop local as much as possible. Me too. Not a fan of Amazon at all. Things take a Things take a very long time to get to New Zealand at the moment, and that's if they even turn up. Some things I've ordered have not turned up yet. Mike Adams, not boring at all, Andy. Do what you got to do. V8 Bergner, sorry. Power went out. We're having a storm here. Like I was saying, I've messed with crankshaft position sensor on my wife's Corolla to see the waveform, and now the car doesn't start. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, okay, so now you've got something to fix. Right, I'm going to carry on with coffee before it goes really, really cold. Too late. It's really, really cold. Right, what's next? Cigarette time. I'll let you guys catch up with the old comments. DSO 138. Simon, world shopping is delayed due to the ship stuck in the Suez Canal at the main backlog is massive. Yes, I heard about that. In fact, is it not free yet? Because they've got these diggers trying to make the canal bigger to get this thing turned around, aren't they? Stuck ship in, can't spell Suez, but anyway, we'll give it a go. They're going to need a bigger digger. Holy moly. That guy's got a job ahead of him, hasn't he? All right, John, can you just go and dig the bank a bit and let this ship turn around? Oh my God. See if I can get onto all. Go back. Oh, no, go forwards. Useless. I can't stim a Google today. That's what I want. That's what we want. Suez with a Z at the end of it. Oh my word. Scramble against, oh, this is the New York Times. Scramble against time to free ship stuck in the Suez Canal. 23 minutes ago. Days after the Ever Given, that must be the name of the ship, became, Connor will like this. This is a ship of his size. Days after the Ever Given became lodged in the canal, its rudder has been freed and dredging is complete. Some salvagers hope it could be freed this weekend, but the wait for shipping to resume continues. Can you notice I'm trying to give it a bit of, you know, a bit of extra to my voice to try and make it look really, or sound really good. When the Evergreen container ship ran aground in the Suez Canal on Tuesday, its bulk blocking shipping traffic through the key global thoroughfare. It's a lot easier when you've written it yourself, isn't it? The world looked on, wondering how the authorities would manage to unstick the behemoth. Days later, the vessel is still stuck amid a frantic effort to, I like the way this guy's written this stuff, amid a frantic effort to free it, and fears over the cascading costs of the fallout. Already, shipping analysts estimate the traffic jam has held up nearly 10 billion in trade every day. Some experts have given hopeful, that's not English, after the ship's rudder was freed on Friday. Yesterday at 10:30 p.m. the rudder moved and the engines started rolling, said Lieutenant General Osama Rabi, chief of Egypt's Suez Canal Authority. Well, he's the guy that should know. At a news conference on Saturday, we were hoping for a big push, but the tide was very low. He added, I cannot give a timetable for when it will be done. Wow, interesting stuff, and it's amazing what goes on out there. You got to see this. Look, there's a close-up. Well, that's not good, is it? I mean, why can't I just, steer left and go forwards a bit? Come on, Connor. What's going on? Why is that a problem? Maybe it might be to do with the profile of the canal underneath. Maybe it gets really, it's not straight down on the sides. Maybe it's like a roundy shape and he's grounded at each end. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not a shippy person. I don't know. It's still pretty bad though, isn't it? I want to see another picture of the digger. Holy shit. There's a lot of writing going on. No, there's no more pictures of diggers. I thought that was really... I want to see this little tiny digger and this massive ship. Let's go back. Unless I'm getting carried away here, aren't I? Sorry. You got me thinking now. Yes. Anyway, you can Google it yourself. You've got Google. But it's quite impressive that they've got this tiny digger, which is probably massive, trying to dig the bank away for this enormous ship. He's definitely got his work cut out, that poor guy. I bet he grabbed a few pies before he set off on his digger to go and do that job. Be there for days. Right, let's get back to the live stream. Sorry. Oh my word. Oh, lots and lots going on here. Jeez. Simon Raw, the digger is a case of you're doing your best, lol. Yeah, but they could have put on two diggers. And don't tell me there isn't a digger at the other end. The poor guy's going to have to go around. Because that'll take a while, won't it? I don't even know if there's a bridge over the Suez Canal, is there? I've never been there. Nut Barsden, south end of the Suez is one canal, north end is two canals. They might unload it to float it. Oh, that'll take ages. Connor K, damn it. I knew someone was going to mention the container ship in the Suez. Just check the AIS webpage. That sounds very professional. It is still stuck at the bow. He's going to use terminology now. It's still stuck at the bow and is surrounded by 11 tugs. It's not going anywhere then, is it? Roger Heaps, the biggest worry would be if the ship twists or bends due to it being stuck at both ends and loaded with containers. Yes, yeah, because the load's not, uniform across the hull. That almost sounded professional as well, didn't it? No, you're right there. That's going to massively load it up, isn't it? Could all turn into a bit of a palaver if it hasn't already. V8 Bergner, I've checked the resistance of the CKP sensor, crank position sensor, and it's okay. There are no check engine lights or fault codes. Ooh, that sounds bad, but it won't start. Is your fuel pump running? Check your fuel pump. See if you've got fuel pressure. Because if you haven't got fuel pressure, your fuel pump's not running, then maybe it's an ECU commanded decision not to run the fuel pump for whatever reason. I don't know. You'll have to just diagnose. Simon Roll. High pressure water jets to wash the silt from under will work better than a digger. Good call. Connor K. The canal is dug into the sand and is tapered on the sides. The deep part is in the middle and only half of the overall canal width. Well, there's your problem. So obviously he was driving along, in his container ship as they do, and maybe on his Facebook or something, or texting, and maybe just deviated a little bit too much from the center line. Maybe the front end got sort of caught, and then the back end spun round. And hey presto, you're on the news. Not so good. I wouldn't want to be that guy driving it. The captain. I noticed actually there was no comments from the captain on the. Maybe he's gone into asylum somewhere. Nut Barsden, check fuses. Yes, you might have popped a fuse. At the very worst, you've done something to the ECU, but I think that's unlikely. Simon Roll, the wind hit the ship and spun it. It was a wind thing. All right, I'll let the guy off. It's not his fault. I suppose that could happen. Good stuff. Now, next bit, I've got some more stuff to show you. We're obviously still on with the project of the DR200 of Tool Girl Hollies, and it needs some indicators. So, I contacted my Suzuki supplier, Kai Tire Motorcycles, up north, who I'm going to go and see next week. Looking forward to that. And they priced me up a set of indicators for it because, well, I'm trying to keep the bike original as much as possible. It's got to go through a warrant before it can go on the road. It is still, I believe, from memory, the rego is still live. I hope so. Including the little brackets to fit the indicators from Japan. Everything was out of Japan. 500 New Zealand dollars. Now, obviously, that isn't going to happen. That's way, way too expensive. And I was in Muchawika on Friday, and I was mentioning this particular saga, and there's lots of these DR200s around, and I spotted one in the showrooms, and I said to Kieran, morning Kieran, if you're watching, I said to Kieran, hey, those DR200s, do they, on the Suzuki website, they've got the indicators fitted. The farm bikes have got the indicators, but the one in your showroom hasn't got them on. Do you have them? And he said, no, they don't supply them with indicators. I said, oh, that's a bit weird because they've got indicators on the picture on the website. Bit of a discrepancy. Not that farmers are bothered about indicators, but, end of the day, if it's in the picture, you should get it. That's called trade descriptions. And he said, no, but if you're after a set of indicators, we've got some off the, is it a TF125 mud bug? And he said, you can have a set. So there you go, look, we've got 4 of these, and they look very, very similar. Obviously, they didn't come with the brackets, but I'm sure I can make something up. So these, we've got 4 brand new indicators to fit to Holly's bike. So thanks, Kieran, and thanks, Murray. Really appreciate that. That's going to save a ton of money and allow me to get on and get the indicators fitted and find a flasher relay. I'm pretty sure I can steal the flasher relay off the, in fact, I'll have one in the box of bits that came off the trail bike. The loom, which came off the farm bike, yes, does have the wiring for the indicators. We spotted that when we're doing the work, so it should be a case of plug and play if all goes to plan. Harry Darg. Oh man, I almost missed y'all on here now though. Well, good to have you on board, Harry. You and 32 other people are watching at the moment. Connor K, it is believed the wind pushed it to starboard and it dug into the bank. All vessels in the canal take a Suez pilot and are speed restricted. Well, we've got it. You can't really blame the captain, can you? Shit happens, and it's got a lot of sidage with all those containers on it. It wouldn't take a lot of wind to give it a bit of a push. Thanks, Connor. John Nuttall, some things are not right. 1 hour in and no Simply Diagnostics. I was just thinking that when I saw the Solid Diagnostics chap talk, comment, should I say. So, yes, where is Steve? Hope he's okay. It's not like Steve to miss a live stream. Harry Darg, if a person bought a vehicle in New Zealand, how long would it usually take to ship to the US? Be very careful, because I had a call this week, without giving any names away or brands and that kind of stuff, just generically, the authorities in the States, it was a quad bike, believe it or not, and the authorities in the States, customs, were asking for a DOT compliance certificate that the vehicle met US regulations for import. Now, this is an off-road bike, a quad bike. So I thought that was quite a weird thing to ask for, because it's not going to go on the road. I said, I don't think it is. And if the person that imported it couldn't supply it forthwith, they were going to crush the bike. I thought that was a bit harsh. That was the story that the guy was giving me. I'm not sure if it's true or not. But if you are thinking of doing that, it'll probably take, 2 or 3 months, because it'll have to go in a container. Make sure you've got all the paperwork you need for entry into the States before you ship the bike out of New Zealand. Otherwise, you might end up in the same situation. Be very, very careful. Quite often, bikes go the other way. We have quite a few bikes from the States coming to New Zealand, and they seem to get certified, no problems. Most of them. But it's definitely worth doing your homework first before you commit. Otherwise, you can end up with no bike, or a bike that you can't put on the road. Our New Zealand farm. Good name. Have you been to Beach Hop before? I haven't. I have seen lots and lots of cars on the road with the Beach Hop stickers, but I haven't been to a Beach Hop before. I should do that. Connor K, you were wondering, Andy, there is a bridge over the Marlborough. I mean the Suez Canal. I say it's a long way around without a bridge, isn't it? So at least the guy with the digger can get over to the side if he has to dig the other side out as well. Simon Roll. Single wire indicator. Don't see a lot of them. No, I noticed that. And it's got, if I give it a rattle, you hear that? It's got inside, all the way down that tube, looks like a captive M6 nut. So it's going to be quite a long bolt to affix this. And obviously the earth will go to the bolt head. That should be pretty easy. But it's free. I like free. I like donations like that. That gets it. So it solves what was going to be quite an expensive problem for me. It solved it very easily. So it's one less thing to worry about. Roger Heaps. Now this has been hidden, this comment, so I'm going to have to maybe, just monitor it a little bit. On a side note, the missus was disappointed you didn't have a trailer. Well, I do have trailers. She thought you could have taken away much more of my treasures. Oh, funny. As it turned out, when I got to Invercargill, to the dealer there, Kevin, very nice chap, and Anne. Kevin he found me a Honda CT110. Now, I've been after a CT110 on and off for a long time. Ever since I heard here in New Zealand, they do what they call the postie bike run. And most of them will ride, ex-postie bikes, and a lot of those are Honda CT90s and CT110s. So, another project is in the wings. Honestly, I'm going to have projects for years at this rate. But that CT110 I have to collect on my next run. So it looks like I'll be coming back with another bike. But then I got talking to Peter in the parts. And Peter has a number of bikes that he wants me to bring up to the workshop and to do projects on. And there's, from memory, he said there was I'm going from memory now, and we haven't finalized the list. So these may not happen, but the potential is. There's a couple of Bantams, BSA Bantams. There's one of these mud bugs as well. I don't know the condition of them. And there was something else, something really old, a really old British bike, but I can't remember what it was. And he said, yep, you can bring those up, and you can have those, and you can do your projects on them. Because he was saying that he just doesn't have time anymore to get them done, which is a terrible shame. He said, even if I retired now, I wouldn't have the time to do all of them. So watch this space, but it does look like the trailer will have to go to Invercargill. That's a long way with a trailer. That's a bit like the run that I did rescue Charlotte to bring back Team Henry, the little Suzuki Alto. Um, the logistics is going to be a nightmare because I'll be doing dealer visits and it's very difficult to find places to park the ute with a trailer. In actual fact, while we're talking about this, I got off the ferry on Friday night at 10 p.m. into Wellington, and I was staying at the Bolton Hotel, which is a very nice hotel. I've stayed there many, many times. And side note, the Black Caps cricket team was there in the morning checking out. My fame, I spoke to some of the Black Caps. I did. I had a good morning, chaps. How are you? Did you win? Because they were playing on the Friday and he didn't answer. So I just went away from that bit of the conversation. Very nice chaps. And anyway, the hotel, the concierge there, tall chap, grey hair, didn't get his name. When I arrived, and I'd already pre-rung them to double check that they had parking for me. And they didn't. They were already fully booked. And I was like, oh, God, here we go. Because obviously I had a bike on the rack on the back of the ute. And there was a big box on top of the tray, which meant it was a bit higher than the 2 metre limit. Well, it was a bit higher than the 1.8 metre limit to go into the normal car park. So that couldn't happen. So I said, look, I really need somewhere to park it. Anyway, he worked his magic and he said, look, if you can park it on the roadside till 1 o'clock in the morning, give us the keys and then we'll put it in the laundry bay where the laundry truck goes and we can park it there overnight for you. So they pulled all the strings that they could. They made it happen. And sure enough, in the morning, when I went out to get the ute, it was in the laundry bay. So super helpful. Really, really, really grateful. If you're ever staying in Wellington, the Bolton Hotel, for me, is the only place to stay. They always put the customer first. Make you feel very welcome when you arrive. They're not a sponsor of the channel. I don't get any discounts or anything like that. They're just a nice group of people that run a really nice hotel. And when I stayed there the last time, I got a free earthquake. I did. At 2:27 in the morning, there was an earthquake. And that really adds to the whole atmosphere of the place, you know, with the curtains swinging around and all the crockery jangling away in the middle of the night. It was great. Nut Barsden. Was it going to California, Andy? They have severe emission standards. They do. You're right. California is the most stringent that I'm aware of from that kind of stuff. I don't know where the guy, where it had been unloaded. I just don't know all the details. I don't even know the VIN number of the bike, so I can't help anymore at the moment. Nut Barsden. Simon, they ground through the frame. Simon, they ground through the frame. What? I didn't get that bit. J-Funk. What to get back into motorcycling? Oh, want to get back into motorcycling. I rode for 3 years in my late teens, but weight gain, 130 kgs. I'm probably not far off that myself, to be honest. Hopefully not as heavy as that, but probably not far off. I want a bigger bike, but I'm still on the learners and need to be lambs. Suggestions? Yes. Yamaha XVS 650 would be perfect. Plenty of grunt, still lambs, low seat height, plenty of room. Good little bike and easy to pick up, easy to sell. Very, very reliable. And they come with a 5-year manufacturer's warranty. So, you know, even if the bike's 3 years old, you've still got 2 years of warranty to go at. Not that you'll need it because they are super reliable. How was that for an advert, eh? Brendan Lee Grant Mills. Talking of old Honda bike, what about this one? Just sent you an email. Oh my word. Emails. I've not been on my personal email for a couple of days, so this will be good. Could be all sorts of stuff on here. Come on, open. You can do it, little laptop. Plink. Oh, Vodafone wants paying. What we got? Let's get rid of that. Oh, look at that. Nice. Is that a city? Is it called a City Express? Let me just download that. Hang on. Download. There we are. I can zoom in then. Honda Express. I'm sure they called it a City Express at one point, didn't they? That's tidy. That's like a new bike. NGK plug cap. That wasn't standard. not the red one, I don't think. That's very, very cool. Very cool indeed. Yes, kickstart. Oh, you've got to see this. You've got to see this, people. This is brilliant. Look at that. So if I go around here, look, you can look at the front. No, it doesn't work like that, does it? Very cool. Very, very tidy paint job. Obviously been resprayed. It must have been. It can't be original paint, surely. But I like that. Little two-stroke. Ring-a-ding-ding-ding. Good job. Started to rain. And I've got a ute to empty. I've got a lot of stuff in the ute, including 2 bikes to unload. Jeez. Luckily, I've got a carport. Woohoo! That'll make life a lot easier, won't it? Right. Back to the live stream. Where are we? So thanks, Brendan, for the email. Appreciate that. Simon, what, you can have a 650 on L plates in New Zealand? You can, yes. That all changed just after I got to New Zealand. They brought out the 650 lambs approved. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Up until that point, it was 250cc. But there was, I don't believe there's any limit on power output of the 250. It was just a capacity limit. So things like Ben's TDR, the TZR 250s and stuff, that, you know, or any variant from that, they were all road legal. They were little pocket rockets. They went really well. Little CBR 250s, Kawasaki did one as well, didn't they? A little 254 4-cylinder, whatever they were. All really quick little bikes. And then the Lambs thing came out, and quite a few of those high performance 250s were then banned. I think realistically, Ben's TDR is probably off the list, but he doesn't care. The police don't know. He just rides it. Doesn't bother him. Never been stopped, not for that kind of stuff. Brenda Lee Grant Mills, it's absolutely minced, not a mark on it. It does look really, really, it looks like it should be for a museum, does that? Yes, it's original paint. What the hell? Was in storage for a long time. Must have been a nice dry environment. Simon, the Honda City looks like the Yamaha Hopper QT50 shaft drive 50cc ped. Cool thing. Wow. Very, very nice. I do like those. Not, you know, not for like a ride to Invercargill kind of thing, but it's nice to still see them, isn't it? You know, because it sort of takes you back to that era that you remember when you were a kid. One of the sales guys at one of the dealerships that I visit has done a Yamaha Chappie. If you remember those, Google it. Absolutely mint restoration. Unfortunately, we just can't seem to get it registered for the road. It used to be, so he thinks, but there's no documentation with it, and a lot of time has passed, and it's unfortunately Land Transport here in New Zealand don't have records that go back more than about 15 years. They got lost for some reason. I think it probably could be done if you pushed hard enough. You'd have to do like a declaration of ownership and do it that way. But I think the expense side of it, because it's usually at least $600 to get them through, plus a brake check. So I think that's probably what the main holdup is, really. So we are up to 1 hour and 29 minutes almost. So we're doing pretty well here. I've covered everything that I felt I should cover today, including the Ben Dirty Workshop, hence the thumbnail. We've covered the new stuff for editing, the laptop and the screens. Sure, there's a few cables still to arrive and bits and pieces, and a mount, so I can bolt it down to the desk and have both monitors, rigidly mounted. I hate monitors that move around. I like them to be nice and really well mounted. So we were very good. Nick was extremely helpful on choosing the right kind of mount for that. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't as expensive as I thought it might have been. But I've definitely blown my entire savings on getting that new equipment. But that should make a big difference in the number of videos that can hit the channel, within any given time frame. Should make me a lot more efficient at making videos. Efficient with my time, should I say. Simon, oh, there we go. Yeah, J Funk. Yeah, all the two-stroke 250 smokers got banned for lambs. Aprilia RS 250, Suzuki RGV 250, etc. You can still ride the inline four-cylinder 250s from that time though. You can you can still race. Yes, of course you can still race them. That's not a problem. But yeah, what a shame, because they were classic little bikes. Those things. You'd hear them screaming down the road and making tremendous amounts of noise, and it sounded though like they were doing hundreds of miles an hour, and they go past at 50 mile an hour. It's because the engines used to rev to like 18,000 RPM. Absolutely phenomenal. The only problem is they did tend to wear out pretty quick because of that frequency of cycles, that high RPM. Our New Zealand farm just got a Ford Ranger 3.2. Love the 5-cylinder engine. Also got a Bateson flatbed for the drift car. Nice. Those Batesons are well made. They're the ones that tilt, don't they? They go really low for loading. Very well made. I do prefer my for Williams though, to be honest. But I'm just biased because I'm from England. But yes, the Ranger is, touch wood, really, really good. I did get a massive crack in the windscreen though when I came off the ferry. I think I showed you on the last live stream in Queenstown. That crack seemed to go as far as the middle of the screen, and now it's stopped. It's going to have to get replaced, but I'm going up to Kai Tire next week, and I don't have a spare day, but I really need to get it changed. So I don't know how I'm going to work that one out yet. I've also got the little trailer to take for a warrant, so I might do that on Monday, tomorrow. I might go into Taupo with that on tomorrow and do that, get that out of the way. And the big trailer has worn out its tyres on the rear axle, so I've been informed. So I've got that to sort out as well. Yeah, good stuff. So now it's your turn. Any more comments? Now is the time before we sign off, and then Andy's going to get on and make a toolbox tour video. That's the plan. Simon used to have a Kajiva Mito 125. That thing was tuned to 42 horsepower out of a 125. What's the limit on lambs? It's a power to weight ratio limit. I can't remember exactly what it is. You'll have to Google it. So it'll be on the Land Transport website under LAMS lambs bikes. It'll give you all the specs there, but I pretty much guarantee it's probably going to be over. What a shame. Cool little bikes though. I remember when the Aprilias first came into the UK. A friend of a friend bought one. I used to live up at Easing World. I'm going back a long time now, and it was quite a new bike, and something on it broke. Don't even remember what it was, but it wasn't rideable without this new part. And at the time, Aprilia only brought in bikes. When you're bringing bikes in and they're being made abroad, they get a quota of the number of units they can bring in, and they decided for whatever reason to use all their allocated units for full bikes and not bring any parts in, which was ridiculously stupid. And dealers across the country were robbing brand new bikes for parts to try and keep the bikes that they'd sold on the road. A really big mistake, and that caused a lot of friction between the customer and the dealer. Simon, will be the RS125 power valve? Ah, well, it must be. Yeah, what a machine though. Good bit of kit. Okay, crew. Well, I think we've reached the end of this live stream. It's been really nice talking to you all again. And thank you again for all of you that support the channel in whatever way it is, whether you share videos on your social media that I've produced, or whether it's through donations through PayPal or Patreon. All of those are greatly appreciated. And, it's those donations that do help towards me getting what I need to get to do what I need to do for the channel, be it computer stuff or tools for the workshop. But I mean, I treat that new laptop as a tool. That's exactly what it is. It does a job. It facilitates me doing what I need to do to create the videos for you guys. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, you should start to see a lot more videos come up. Just while we're on the subject of videos, Timothy has now sent through the alternator strip down video thank you very much, Timothy. I'm sure he'll be watching today. He's done a fantastic job editing up. I have seen it. Very, very pleased with it. I'm going to do like a little intro bit that I'm going to explain that Timothy's done the editing and things, and then add on the credits at the end. And that's probably about it. That's all I need to do, really. But the file that he sent is in an MOV format, which I think is like an Apple format. I need to convert that to MP4 so I can then add the extra little bits that I want to put in and then do a final render. So that'll be the first job that I do with the new laptop. So Timothy, thank you very much for that. I really, really appreciate it. And the fact that it's taken a while, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at all. The fact that you've done it for me is a big, big help. Really appreciate it. So I'll be giving you a shout out when that video comes out as well. Mike Adams, as far as a blinker, you should be able to use a car blinker relay and it will be much cheaper. My dad and I did that on a 78 Suzuki 350 street bike back in the 80s. I think I've got the relay off the farm bike, off the trail bike that we used for the donor frame in a box somewhere. It'll be with the loom, probably still plugged into the loom. So I think I'll be okay. I did price up a new relay, an original one, which just out of interest, and it was $90. So again, that's not going to happen. Mike Adams, the car blinker was about a third the price of the one the Suzuki dealer wanted to charge us. Yes, I must admit, the parts are quite expensive. I mean, obviously, for the Yamaha stuff, I can get staff price on that, which makes a big difference. But when I'm buying, even though the dealers do me a good price on the Suzuki stuff, I'm very grateful for that. It's still pricey in comparison. And there's long delays on getting stuff. I mean, I've ordered a rear wheel spindle because I think that was bent, and I've ordered a new swing arm spindle because I'm going to make some new bushes, and I thought, well, it needs a new spindle in there to make sure that isn't worn. The original one isn't worn. So again, they're on order. Probably another few weeks before they turn up. So things are dragging on. But the bike has to be done for December. That's when we're doing the trip. And the reason for that is that the Molesworth and Rainbows tracks in the South Island will be open. I've been doing a little bit of recce work as well and looking at maps and things on an evening, and I'm slowly putting together the route down to Bluff from Cape Reinga up north, top of the North Island. It's a long run, and I want to include as many gravel roads as I can on that trip. And it won't be a direct route. It's going to sort of zigzag its way down through the North Island, and then when we get to the South Island, we're going to really crisscross the South Island all the way down, covering as many of the gravel passes through the mountains as we can. That's the plan. And from start to finish, I've allocated 2 weeks. Now, obviously, when we get down to Bluff, the bike we put, because Mrs. Mechanic, the plan is Mrs. Mechanic's going to follow me in the ute. She's going to be the support vehicle and do a bit of the filming as well, which would be nice. And obviously, the bike can go on the back of the ute, and we can hot foot it back up to Taupo as soon as we're finished. Hopefully. So I won't need to ride the bike back as well, which will be another 2 weeks probably. Al Marine Velocity. Hey Andy, I don't suppose you could give us a tour of your large. Trying to get into machine. Oh, lathe. Trying to get into machining. Okay, I'll do a video on the lathe for you as well. How's that? Because we've got 2 lathes in the workshop at the moment. One is an old Myford that I bought not too long ago. We've got the Boxford, which is that one just down there, which is my go-to lathe. I bought that. I think I was in New Zealand about a year, so I've had that about 10 years now, 10 or 11 years, and it's been brilliant. It does have a fault at the moment, an electrical issue, which is I believe there's a thermal switch or a thermal coupling in the main on-off switch, and if I'm doing a lot of heavy machining and taking a lot of material off, that switch does cut out. But I've worked out that if I blow the airline into the switch from the side, it cools down that bimetal strip, which is what I'm assuming it is, and then the lathe works again. So I'm pretty confident I know what the problem is, and it probably just wants a new one, or maybe there's some adjustment. I don't know. I'll have to have a look. But it's not really a problem. I don't often do lots and lots of machining. I mean, it'll do maybe an hour before it starts to play up. So, it's one of those little jobs in the background that I'll get round to. Okay, crew. Well, an hour and 40 minutes in, time's up. Thank you very much for joining me again this morning. I do really appreciate it. I hope you found our conversation interesting. We've talked about all sorts of abstract stuff today, from keeping your workshop tidy if it's not your workshop, if you're using it, Ben, to new laptops and screens, to pies, to indicators, to ships stuck in the Suez Canal. Honestly, we've talked about heaps of stuff, and it's been really, really cool. Lots of very good comments, lots of really cool questions, and things that stimulate the mind and generate great conversations. So again, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Today is Sunday for me, so I've got lots to do. For Simon, it's Saturday night over there, so it'll be bedtime soon, Simon. Okay, crew. Well, until next time, thanks again. See you around. Over and out.